Let's start with the situation. We know what our goal is. We know what our aspiration is. It's really straightforward, albeit audacious. It's to be America's most highly regarded service company. That's really clear. It's been clear for many years. The question is, how are we going to realize that aspiration to become America's most highly regarded service company? How are we going to leapfrog the competition? How are we going to get ahead? What's our game plan for the future? This rather striking chart is the product of a survey that's done every 6 months by the University of Michigan for the government, and it's the American Satisfaction Index of different industries. And they survey 42 industries in the service category, and the wireless industry just doesn't have strong loyalty. So we've got our challenges. We've got our work cut out. We've got to change that. We've got to make a stand. We've got to be different. So what do great brands do? Great brands do a bunch of things. They deliver on their promises. Great brands recognize the role that they play in people's lives. They don't just stand as products or services. They understand where they fit in consumers' lives. Great brands delight in breaking category rules. They don't accept the status quo. They go in there and they smash things. Great brands inspire passion. People don't just like them. They don't just accept them. They love them. Okay, great brands take a position and execute with excellence. You decide what you're going to do. You're going to decide what you're going to be, and you execute the heck out of it. When we step outside the category and look for lessons, we have to look well beyond our wireless competition for brands that are great brands and say, what are those lessons that we can import into the T-Mobile future experience that will set us aside and take us to a new place? And just to recap some of those lessons, you've got to start with the role that you play in people's lives. It's not a product. We've got to figure out what the need is that we're meeting. We've got to absolutely, as we have, our heritage and our history, continue to delight in breaking the category rules. Shake it up. Do something different. Inspiring passion. We've got to get to the deep emotion that makes consumers tick, that makes real people tick. Take a position and execute without compromise. Decide that one thing that you want to be and execute the heck out of it so that nobody else can touch you. And ultimately, and you all know this very well, deliver on our promises. The promise that we make to consumers is a promise we have to absolutely deliver on every day. So those are some of the lessons that I think apply to the direction that we're taking. Now let me then frame the opportunity. So we've stepped out into a different place to get some perspective that helps us decide on the future direction. The question is, what is the magic of mobile communications? What is our equivalent? The magic is really about the power of people connecting with each other. It's about real people making real connections every day. That's what we do. That's what this category enables. It allows people to make those connections which otherwise cannot be made, connections that matter hugely. That is the magic that we're going to build on. Now, it all starts with the consumer, and let me make this case. What's going on in America today? Things are changing. The landscape's changing. The way the consumers today, the way people conduct their lives is changing. Fact is, Americans are working longer hours. The only developed country in the world where the working week is actually going up. Mobile communications can do an awful lot to help address that issue. They can connect you to people that matter to you at times when you can't be physically together. This very busy mobile population, this category plays straight into the middle of that. We can do something marvelous for people. And that leads me to unveiling our new brand position. What is that one thing that we're going to lead up to? Our vision, from a business point of view, starts with the consumer, and it is. We are in the business of helping people bridge the gap between the demands of their busy mobile lives and their craving to be connected now to people that matter most to them. The gap that we talked about earlier on, how time-starved people are, geographically dispersed, but the importance of relationships. we have an opportunity to allow people to bridge that gap and to get closer to the people that really matter in their lives. So get more is no more. Kiss it goodbye. It was great. But the fact is that where we're headed, it's a different place. Life is better when you stick together with the people who matter most. It's about the relationships that our customers have with friends and family, people they love. And it's also about the relationship that we have with each other in realizing a new level of customer service. This is a rallying cry for us, for the consumer, and it's a rallying cry for us together as a team to do something really great together over the next several years. So there are 6 broad consumer groups. We have decided to target 2 particular groups that we call young and social and family focused. Those 2 groups together represent about 25% of the total marketplace. Those are the people that we are going to satisfy the heck out of as a team. This is a pyramid. We like pyramids. When we say there's a brand blueprint, it says, here's the brand that we're trying to build. Here's the benefit we're trying to build. Here's the product we're trying to deliver. The absolute core of the brand that we're trying to build says that we're in the business of enriching personal relationships. That's the something bigger that we do in people's lives that makes us stand apart from the competition. We enrich personal relationships. If from a consumer point of view, we're in the business of enriching personal relationships, when I say it affects everything we do, it affects the communications. That's the easy bit, the advertising, the collateral. It affects all of that. It affects the products that we offer. It affects the whole sales process. It affects the service experience. It affects everything we do. That brand blueprint is going to change everything. Great brands affect every touch point of the consumer experience. If we're in the business of enriching personal relationships, every single point that touches the customer, that's what has to happen. In retail stores, on the web, through the product, through our communication, everything has to change because the consumer gets their impression of us as a brand by all those myriad of touch points, all those things that help customers form impressions of who we are. We are going to innovate over time in the areas of product, sales, and service. Together, we're going to make big changes happen. But the holy grail, so to speak, is about differentiation. It's about uniquely relevant product, sales, and service. And what do I mean by that? And I'll illustrate this. It's about personal networks. We build and service personal communication networks. And from a product point of view, we have products that are people-centered. They start with people, not with a network. They're really easy, and they offer great value where it counts. But fact is, there are only certain things that we can provide to you as tools or systems that ultimately you and RSRs, you are the brand. You know what we've talked about? It's the service that's delivered every day in so many ways that sometimes are totally unpredictable that defines who we are. So you are the brand. We now have 6,000 My Faves customers. And the question is, what do they think? Those Get More customers that are extremely satisfied with their plan, that's on the left, and on the right, Get More customers that are extremely likely to recommend T-Mobile the brand as a result of their experience. And take a look at the strength of feeling that we are getting back from those customers that have My Faves. This is a high bar. When you ask somebody that they're extremely satisfied with their plan, you say you're extremely likely to recommend T-Mobile, pretty much twice the level. The consumer reaction to this plan is amazing. And by the time it gets to the holidays, 90% of the handsets that we sell will be My Faves enabled. It's the first of many new products that we hope to launch over the coming years, but My Faves is the backbone of our Q4 holiday program. It is going to be the plan that we put our money behind, that we tell consumers about, that we shout about from the rooftops, that we go out and sell more of than anything else. There's another effort, though, that's going to be parallel to what you've already seen, which is about making the expression, who's in your fave 5, famous. And we want to make the notion of getting in somebody's 5 in a tongue-in-cheek and fun way entertaining in its own right. So the notion is that we're going to make the idea of who's in your fave 5 unto itself a famous line and a famous thought. You'll see us starting to sow the seed, the new line, T-Mobile, Stick Together, inviting people to answer questions that have them think about who should be in their Fave 5. And here are 3 of the questions. Who gets your inside jokes? Who would let you know that you had spinach in the teeth? And who shaped, my favorite, who would shape your back before you go to the beach? That's a question that you can answer in private. Bars around my faves and the question, who's in your Fave 5? Get people to think about the most important relationships in their lives. Be a catalyst for that. Boy, let me tell you, are we going to invest aggressively? We have a lot of confidence in this program. In Q4 alone, we're going to invest $150 million in marketing support. And that's not kind of some inflated number. That's real cash. $150 million, our biggest spend ever. It's a lot of cash. It's going to have a big impact. People will be talking about my faves. It's a huge investment. Bottom line is, hopefully, you clearly get the impression, I hope you do, that we have one enormous opportunity with my faves. It is, importantly, the first step in repositioning the T-Mobile brand. It's a first showcase product that utterly defines the new T-Mobile. It's a vital ingredient in taking us to the new place. It's a totally exclusive product. I think there's potential with this product based on the test market results if this team really get behind it to drive record sales in Q4. And make no mistake, that is the intention.